Hi Spirit Fam, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a beautiful pick a card for you on the message that you need to hear right now. So for today's reading, I want to let you know that we will be looking and starting this pick a card with some oracle cards that you do not see on the screen. So if you are new to my channel, welcome to Eileen Into Spirit. My name is Eileen Rouse. I am a psychic intuitive, a spiritual coach, and a sound healing practitioner. So without further ado, Spirit Fam, let's go ahead and dive right into your pick a card. So you see in front of you here, Spirit Fam, 3 decks that you will choose from. These represent the 3 different tarot cards that you particularly get to choose from. I will remove these crystals so that you can actually take a look at the deck and really listen to which deck you are being drawn to. We have this beautiful green deck, which is the Good Tarot from Colette Baron Reed. We then have this beautiful Angel Tarot deck from Radley Valentine. And then this is going to be a Dream Gaia Tarot deck with this beautiful Midnight Sky. So I want you to really tune in to the deck that is really truly calling you. And I want to show you, if you are used to choosing decks with crystals, I am going to show you. This is going to be deck 1 with the green deck. Deck 2 is going to be this beautiful Amethyst with the Angel Tarot deck. And then this iridescent, beautiful crystal is going to be for deck 3. So I want you to go ahead and take in a nice big deep breath. Allow your intuition to guide you towards the deck that is truly wanting to be heard and provide you with a message for today. Welcome deck 1 to your pick a card on the message that you need to hear right now. So we will be starting off with your oracle cards. We are going to shuffle and choose 1 card from each deck to start off your pick a card reading today. Okay. Ooh, you got 2 from this deck. Let's go ahead and get out our cards. Thank you. I'm feeling this one. Okay. We're going to get out all of our cards so that we have a really good idea here, pile 1, on what your message is. Okay, so these are your oracle cards. So we're starting out with Drifter, experiencing life as it comes, with Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain, New Beginnings, and then Star being healing codes, which is important information, wounds are healed, and recharging. So I feel, pile 1, that you're needing to understand that sort of the experiences that you are having at this time is really about sort of bringing things to a close. The experiencing life as it comes means that we need to learn to travel or go with the flow with ease and grace. It's really about not resisting or going against the tide of what is transpiring in your life here, pile 1. I feel that you might be experiencing a lot of things that you are healing from. Maybe you are going through some painful experiences that's really making you want to be resistant towards the change that is coming. I say change because when I look at this new beginning card here, there is butterflies right here on the outer edge. And butterflies to me really signifies transformation. It signifies to me that you are going through massive changes right now that is at a much deeper level than what you are used to here, Pile One. And I feel that's because you are a star being. You really aren't from this planet, and you're not really used to being so confined or so restricted in this physical reality. I do feel that this 3D reality is very dense for you. And because it is so dense, it oftentimes makes you feel sluggish or makes you feel like you're being tied down to the experiences. I do feel that your message is that while you might be experiencing a lot of difficulties or a lot of challenges, and you're sort of transmuting all of that energy at this time, know that you do have a very solid, refreshing, very open and expansive new beginning that is going to be coming in for you. And this is something to really be excited about here, because what this is really saying for you here, Pile One, is that even though you are on this path, and even though the path itself feels very daunting and it feels very narrow, know that this too shall pass. It's almost like they're wanting to remind you here, Pile One, that even though things may feel like they're not changing, behind the scenes, they actually are. The one thing I want you to understand about the transmuting pain here with the Fool's Embrace is that you're needing to allow these changes to occur. And sometimes when you are transmuting energy, right, especially this kind of dense, bogged down energy, it can often feel like you're never coming up for air. You're never breathing. This is really wanting you to it's like allowing life to love you. So you're needing to understand that this experience itself is leading you towards something that is more in alignment with who you are as a star being. And it's important to understand here, Pile One, that sometimes these, experiences and the transmutation of, the pain into healing is all a part of the process. It's all a part of the journey. The star being with healing codes here is letting you know that this is important information. The experience itself is really providing you with information that you need, and it's allowing you to heal. It's allowing you to truly understand things at a much deeper level. And sometimes that can be confusing, right? Because we often ask ourselves when we're going through something that's very challenging, or when we are being challenged in some way, we often ask ourselves, we put ourselves into a position here, Pile One, where we ask ourselves, what was the purpose of this? Why am I actually going through this? What is it that I need to learn from this situation? Those are very important questions that you need to be asking yourself here, because those questions in and of themselves are really going to help you. Now, I want to let you know that because you are a star being, a lot of the experiences that you are having feels a lot more intense. And with that being said, you're going to it's important that you sort of call in on your resources or call in on your team to really help you transmute this energy so that it's not so taxing on you and on your body. I feel that the really important message is that even though things feel very overwhelming and they feel very intense for you, it's important to know that, you know, sometimes it's okay for you to sort of take a step back and say, you know what, I just can't. And that's okay, because you're in a human vessel. You are experiencing life from a human perspective. You know, being a star being means that a lot of this dense reality doesn't really make sense to you. So it's okay that you call upon your team and you call upon other individuals to help you acclimate, to help you feel more balanced in this particular space. So let's go ahead and dive right into the tarot. So we have the Five of Air here, which is the Five of Swords, okay? And the Five of Swords really speaks about, you know, all of the, you know, thoughts, all of the things that muddle our thoughts up, and, you know, the conflicts that we often have within ourselves and with others. You know, the Five of Swords really speaks about winning at all cost. And I feel that this is really wanting you to sort of see the bigger picture. It's wanting you to sort of rise above. Now, it's interesting because you also got the Five of Fire, which is the Five of Wands. And Five of Wands is very conflicting energy. I feel that as you evolve, right, especially with all of the intense, you know, energy that you are currently feeling here on the planet right now here, Pile One, is that you know, you're needing to sort of evaluate whatever challenges come in, whatever comes through for you. You need to really look at it from a higher perspective. You need to see it from a perspective of, it's not about winning or overcoming it so quickly. It's really about looking at it from the perspective of, what is this teaching me? What am I learning? What am I here to experience? And it's about enjoying that experience, understanding that sometimes those challenges and those obstacles really prevent us a way of learning and of growing. Okay. Now we have the Moon energy, which really truly signifies, you know, the secrets, the in-depth illusions or our dreams that we often have to sort of relate to. I think in essence, you know, the one thing about the moon is that the moon often shines a light on the things that we ultimately need to focus on. And I feel for you, Pile One, it's really about focusing on the pain and looking at it from a perspective of how the pain is being transmuted into healing in some way. Because I feel like a lot of times when we're really in it, we don't really see the bigger picture. We don't understand, you know, how that pain can sort of transmute or transform into something else that is helping us in some way. We now have the Strength card, and I love this because this is really talking about our inner bravery, our inner courage, our inner ability to overcome any challenge or any obstacle that we might face here, Pile One. And I feel that overall, this is ultimately really telling you that despite the conflicts, or despite, you know, what you might believe or what you might think about the experiences that you are having right now, you are overcoming it. And you are a lot stronger than you think. And it's really about, you know, pushing through, like being resilient enough to push through the hard things. You know, not too long ago here, Pile One, I was watching something on TikTok, and it was of this woman who was really talking about, you know, the phrase, I can do hard things. And sometimes we have to sort of pump ourselves up about that. We have to remind ourselves of how powerful and how resilient and how resourceful we actually are. And sometimes we need that reassurance. We need, you know, to be able to reassure ourselves that, you know, our thoughts can often play tricks on us. And even though we might feel like we're not really changing or we're not transforming anything, like I said, behind the scenes there's so much going on that you're not actually seeing. And this is why Spirit, your message here, Pile One, is really about acknowledging how much you have done. Acknowledge, you know, the small little things that you have accomplished from the time, you know, from the beginning to where you are now. I think that when you look at it as a whole, right? And I think that's the important message here, Pile One. When you look at it as a whole, you are really significantly transforming. You are becoming more empowered. You're standing up for yourself, and you're becoming more enlightened with who you are as a star being, as yourself here. So your final two cards here, I absolutely love this. Okay, here's what I want you to know. The most important thing here, Pile One, is that you got two fives side by side, right? Fives really represent change. It also represents our ability to seek freedom. Okay. And in order for us to seek the freedom that we desire, we have to make significant changes in our life. And I feel that's what your message here is. Your message here is stop looking at the things and that's currently going on in your life, and stop beating yourself up over not having accomplished certain things. Because what your team is really wanting you to know here, Pile One, is that you are accomplishing so much more than you even realize. You also now have two sevens side by side, and sevens is this period where we sort of take a pause. We withdraw from the things that we are currently doing or experiencing, and we sort of go into a state of contemplation. But I also look at it as our sacred path, right? We're being called towards our sacred path. And I feel that is what is transpiring for you here, Pile One. The Seven of Fire is all about you standing in your power, you acknowledging your strengths, acknowledging what you have accomplished, and charging towards it, being proud of what you have aspired to, what you have actually done, and sort of protecting that which is yours. The Seven of Swords really often speaks about, you know, the deception, the masks that we often wear, the little, you know, secrets that we try to prevent from other people seeing, right? And this is very telling right here, Pile One, because your Seven of Air, which is the Seven of Swords, fell on top of the Moon card. And the Moon is all about secrets. It's all about the things that we often keep hidden. But the Moon illuminates the things so that we could truly see better, right? When we are out in the sun, we can see things clearly. With moonlight, sometimes it's not as clear, which is why sometimes our mind can play tricks on us, right? And the Seven of Swords is really about that. It's about the illusions or the things that we often try to hide from ourselves, right? When we're not really clear about what our intentions are or what we're truly aspiring to. And so your message here, Pile One, is really about recognizing your efforts, really truly tuning in and seeing the bigger picture, recognizing that even though you are experiencing challenges and it feels very restricted at this time, know that there are things that are transforming behind the scenes that you're just not aware of. And this is a really good time here for you to really, you know, talk to your spirit team, ask your spirit team, what can, you know, and I love this. Look, I just pulled the bottom of the deck and you got the Two of Swords here. So this is really about you asking your team to provide you with the clarity, right? Because you ultimately have a choice. You can choose to see your experiences as painful, or you can choose to see the experiences as a means for you to heal, to work through the challenges, and to become better acquainted with the depth, the truth, and the understanding of why you are going through what you are going through. So pile one, this is your message that you need to know right now from your spirit team. I want to thank you so much, pile one, for joining me today. I hope that this provided you with some clarity and some insight on what is currently going on in your world. And I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, pile one. Hi, pile two. Welcome to your pick a card reading on the message that you need to hear right now. So we are going to draw your oracle cards first. And we are basically going to do things a little bit differently than I normally do. We're going to draw your oracle cards, and then we are going to go through your oracle cards and then draw your tarot cards. So I can tell you that the information that is coming through is pretty intense. So if you are drawn to more than one pile, I am going to advise you to look at all of the piles that you were particularly drawn to. I feel that it's going to be very important for you. So let's go ahead and start with your oracle cards here. We're going to turn them over and we are going to just dive right in. And this is absolutely beautiful, pile two. So we are starting out with, I'm going to push your tarot cards over just a little bit so that we can primarily focus on your oracle cards here. So we are starting out with straddling worlds. This is about wandering between realms. We next have prosperity with crown chakra upgrade, divine connection, holy experiences, and miraculous energy. So pile two, I feel that the message that you need to hear right now is really about understanding that you are sort of straddling two different realities at this time. I feel that there are a lot of people out in the collective right now that sort of feel this shift, this sort of like sliding shift. And the sliding shift is really where you are still attached to the 3D reality or mentality, where you're still having to let go. Right? You're still having to let go of some patterns, some beliefs, some things that are still a little bit hard for you to grasp or understand. And you sort of shift into that 4D, which is really about the dream state, right? Where it's sort of, you know, as you shift out of that 3D, you sort of shift into the 4D where you start to sort of dream and you start to experience this immense, intense prosperity, or you experience miracles and you sort of don't have any understanding or grasp how that could be, how 1 minute you're experiencing something that feels very dense, and then the next minute you're feeling as if you're sort of floating and you're feeling high. That's the best way for me to describe it. And the reason for this, PileTwo, is because you are going through some immense upgrades right now. A lot of the energy that is filtering through you right now is coming through your crown. And it's really helping you to connect to divine source energy, to your spirit team, to your higher self. And in those moments of feeling that bliss or that sense of abundance and prosperity, that's when you sort of feel that you're sort of straddling, you're wandering between those two different realities and experiences. One that is very solid, one that is very dense, one that feels very, the best way for me to say it is, you feel restricted in that dense reality. And then there's moments where you experience this ultimate high, where it's almost like you're so clear. You have this real in-depth sense of clarity and understanding about what's going on. And it's almost like you're able to put all of the pieces of the puzzle together. And you're like, how is this? And then you sort of slide back down to that dense and that restriction, and where there's not a lot of clarity and it doesn't make sense. And so right now, your message is that in the moments when you find yourself straddling both realities, right? Sometimes the best thing for you to do is to sort of stay in the middle. And how you stay in the middle is you pretty much, when you're in that place where you feel dense, right? In that place where you feel so restricted, it's important for you to not give up hope. You have to have this expectation that there is opportunity, there is infinite potential and possibilities available and accessible to you. And it's really about learning to look at things on the brighter side, okay? And it's important that you ultimately make that choice, because with these upgrades that are going on in your crown chakra, I want to point out that they are not going to slow down. They are going to keep intensifying to the point that eventually you will no longer feel as connected to that dense reality that makes you feel so restricted. And I want to point out that this is really about your beliefs, okay? Because, straddling worlds pretty much invites you to become the magician. It invites you to become the creator of your own reality. And the whole reason why you're experiencing both worlds is because you're being presented with a choice here, PileTwo. And the choice is that you get to choose which reality you ultimately want to be a part of and which reality you want to live in. And a lot of people don't understand this, because right now the collective and Mother Earth are going through massive awakenings, where people are starting to wake up to the idea that this physical world isn't what we thought it was. And we're starting to have a better understanding of what we're truly capable of. And you're no different here, PileTwo. One of the biggest messages that I've received from Archangel Metatron, who you will be hearing a lot more from on this channel, by the way, because he has made it very clear that he has messages that he wants to bestow to the collective. So this is something you're going to need to look forward to, because his messages are really going to be about what you need during these transitional times right now, and how to go through that, and how to be okay with what is transpiring, and learning to just be embodied with who you are. Your message is just exactly this message here, PileTwo. It's really about understanding that both of these realities are presenting you with a choice of being in a state of flow. Prosperity is all about understanding that we have everything that we need. All of our resources are provided for us. All of our needs and our desires are already accessible to us. We have everything that we potentially need to be successful, to be in love and in relationships, to have all of our heart's desires. It is already a part of us. It is already a part of our reality. We simply need to match the frequency of that reality. So let's go ahead and start with your tarot cards now. I feel this is an absolutely great message for you. So we are starting off with the Four of Raphael, which is the Four of Cups. And it basically says, seek out other possibilities. Look for the magic in life. Be aware of your own emotions. This is so true, PileTwo, I'm sorry. You know, fours are all about creating a foundation and being stable and having a sense of security in what you are experiencing. And because you are sort of straddling both worlds, it can feel very unstable. It can feel almost as if you're unsure of where you're going and how things are going to transpire for you in your life. But again, remember, your message here is that you need to seek, continue to have that hope and seek that infinite, potential and possibilities, but be aware of how certain things make you feel. That's the important thing here, because I feel like a lot of times when we go through experiences, we aren't aware, PileTwo, of how those experiences make us feel. So it's going to be important for you to recognize when you're in that 3D and when you're shifting into that 5D, which is that high, right? And when I say high, I mean high. Understand that with these crown chakra upgrades, you are getting immense sources of light that are filtering through the top of your crown, and it will make you feel high, almost as if you are on drugs. I'm not going to lie. It's going to make you feel woozy. It's going to make you for some people, they experience it as a sense of nauseousness, or that they're dizzy and they can't really find their ground, right? So it's important for you to recognize how you are feeling when you are shifting, because I feel that is going to help you have a better understanding of how to be more stable, right? How to have, feel secure in what you are experiencing. We now have the Six of Gabriel, which is the Six of Wands, and it says, congratulations, you've done a wonderful job. It's time to move on to the next project, the next adventure, awards, scholarships, or promotions. Okay, so what this means here, PileTwo, is that understand that even though, and this could be for some of you might truly understand that you are straddling both worlds right now, both realities, both a 3D world and a 5D world, right? And that's okay. Understand that it's perfectly okay for you to be in that state. Do not beat yourself up for it, right? Because we are all being given an opportunity to choose which reality we truly want to be a part of and which reality we want to be in. And what this is saying is that your team is applauding you for all of the hard work that you have done to this point. And they're wanting you to know that you're doing a great job. They are supporting you as you make this transition because they understand that it's not easy. They understand that it's hard for you in this reality to make sense of all of the upgrades, make sense of all of the influctuating energy that is sort of hitting all of us at this time. But they want you to know that you're doing an amazing job and they're very proud of you and they're applauding you. And they want you to know that you are exactly where you need to be. You are doing exactly what you need to be doing. You are experiencing exactly what you need to be experiencing. There isn't anything that needs to change other than you just being in the present moment. Next, we have the Moon card. Now, this is very interesting because in Pile 1 got the Moon card in the same position. So if you were drawn to Pile 1 and Pile 2 and you came to this pile first, I'm going to highly advise you to listen to Pile 1. So the Moon card here is really wanting you. So what it says is, this is the opportunity to improve your plans. Listen to your intuition for accurate guidance and face your fears and grow stronger. So what this is saying is that whatever fears that you are currently, that are surfacing, right? And for some of you, it's surfacing. It's just now at the brink of surfacing. And for others of you, it's resurfacing. So what that means is that Pile 2, you're needing to face those fears. You're needing to recognize that the fears are merely an illusion that are keeping you stuck, right? That are sort of it's almost like they're chaining you to this reality that you're going to be unable to shift into that 5D. So again, understand that the experience this is all about opportunity. It's presenting you an opportunity, because what most of us don't realize is that we ultimately have a choice. You have a choice here, Pile 2. And no matter what you choose, your spirit team will support that. It will support that. I want you to understand that. And next we have the 3 of Raphael, which is the 3 of Cups. Okay, so this is about reasons to celebrate. This is about a community of friends, a community of building better relationships where you celebrate with one another. So I really feel for you, Pile 2, it's important that you recognize your team. Recognize the people around you that support you, that help you, that help you understand yourself. And maybe for some of you, this is really wanting you to sort of celebrate yourself. Celebrate your success here with the 6 of Wands, right? Gabriel is the archangel of communication. And whenever you want to better your communication, call upon Archangel Gabriel. Archangel Gabriel will help you communicate everything that you need, whether that's verbally, whether that's in written form, whatever it is. Archangel Gabriel is there to help you communicate your needs and your desires. And it's important that you communicate with your spirit team here, Pile 2. Communicate exactly what it is you need. If you are struggling with something, communicate that and be open to receiving the guidance that comes through. And that's the important thing here, because I feel a lot of times we ask for clarity, but we're not open to the responses that come through. We're not open to what's being said to us. And a lot of that is because, Pile 2, it may not be the answer that we want. It may not be the answer that we are ultimately looking for. So this is why it's so important that you be open, listen to your intuition, trust what is coming through, because if it's coming through for a reason. Next, we have the 9 of Ariel, and it says, your dreams are fulfilled. Hard work leads to great success, a love for the beautiful things in life. So what your spirit team is really telling you, the message here for you right now, is that everything that you are experiencing in this moment right now is helping you build a more solid foundation from which to experience better life. Understand this. Just because you are straddling 2 different worlds and you keep shifting from 3D to 5D does not mean that you are doing anything wrong. It means that that experience in and of itself is helping you understand your dynamic and your experience here in this human reality. And it's helping you be clearer about what it is that you truly and ultimately desire, so that you can then start focusing more on those things and building more of that into your reality so that you can experience the greatness of life here, pile 2. Next, we have solutions. Okay, this is beautiful. So it says success that comes from objective compromise, self-control and patience, forgiving and healing energy. This is about temperance. Again, remember, I said earlier, the way that you sort of deal with the straddling the worlds is staying in the middle. Okay. And I love that this card came up. Archangel Ezekiel is all about spiritual truth, spiritual understanding, and spiritual knowing. And the beautiful thing about that is that when you can truly align to the middle path is you. It is your higher self. It is that aspect of you that is connected, has that straight line connection to divine source, to God, and to your spirit team. And it helps you decipher what you need to do more of and what you need to let go of. And this is how you ultimately experience the bliss, the success that you ultimately are desiring here, pile 2. So let's look at the bottom deck. Love this. Okay. Bottom deck is the 10 of Ariel. This is the 10 of Pentacles. And it says, there is so very much to be grateful for. Financial success and the promise of retirement, a rich and rewarding family life. So pile 2, your message is follow the middle path. What I'm literally hearing in my head right now as I'm talking to you is follow the yellow brick road, follow the yellow brick road. So literally, it's very interesting here, pile 2. Sometimes they talk to me in song. And so I have to sing it to acknowledge it, to let my team know. That's how I thank them for providing me with the guidance that I can then provide you. So what they're saying is follow the yellow brick road here, pile 2. And the yellow brick road for you is follow your inner truth. So I feel that the 2 archangels that you really need to call into your everyday here, pile 2, is going to be Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Ezekiel. And if you are not following me on my social media platforms, I highly advise you that you do, because I provide so much content. I have a blog, and I just recently did a blog on the importance of having a spiritual practice. And because I feel that what your team is really wanting you to know here, the message that is trying to be conveyed to you here, pile 2, is that you need to start developing a spiritual practice that aligns you to your higher self and your spirit team, so that you don't experience the exhaustion that you feel from straddling both worlds. Okay. So pile 2, I want to thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope that this message provided you with some clarity and some guidance. And I'm going to look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye. Hi, pile 3. Welcome to your beautiful pick a card on the message that you need to hear right now. So we are going to start off with your oracle cards. We are going to shuffle, and we are going to get one card from each one of these decks. We will go through each one of the oracle cards to start off your message, and then we will draw from the tarot deck that you specifically chose. So I want to let you know here, pile 3, that so far, pile 1 and pile 2 messages have been so amazing and very in-depth. I kind of have a feeling, and we're going to see how pile 3 comes out, but they're sort of all connected. So I do want to let you know that if you were drawn to more than one pile, I'm going to highly advise you to watch the video for each one of the piles that you were drawn to, because know that there is a message in there for you. I just want to point that out. So let's go ahead and turn over your oracle cards and let's get started here. Ooh, okay. Pile 3. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Pile 3. I feel that the message you need to hear right now is understanding that you are going through a transpersonal experience where you are needing to sort of become the observer. The Watcher's card here really speaks about observing one's experience. It speaks about learning to be a witness, right? Learning to be a witness of the experiences that you have, of all of just everything around you. And the meaning of forgiveness is really about acceptance. The long and the short is that it's about acceptance. When you can put yourself in the observer witness position, you witness your actions. You witness the actions of others. You observe how people respond and react to given situations in their life. And the idea is that when you can observe and witness everything, it helps you sort of become more embodied in you, more embodied in that higher aspect of you. The I am presence is an amazing, amazing experience, because it helps you to become more divine. It's accessing that innermost aspect of who you are and how that inner aspect is connected to divine source and all that is. But one of the hardest things for us in this reality is to accept what is. And it's interesting because I've really recently, with a lot of the people that I've been working with the past few weeks, I've been saying this phrase over and over. It is what it is. So much so to the point that I am currently in the process of working on my own oracle deck. And one of the cards that I have is, it is what it is. The hardest part of that is accepting it exactly as it is, not wishing for it to be different, not wanting for it to change, just allowing it to be what it is, and looking at it, witnessing it, observing it to truly understand it. See, the part of forgiveness is that we have to see with true depth and understanding of that situation, of that person. And it's really about accepting that situation and accepting that person and being willing to let it be. Just let it be and let it go. And that is often the hardest thing for us. So I feel that your message, the message that you need to hear right now, Pile 3, is that you're needing to allow this transpersonal experience to occur. You're needing to observe yourself, your experiences, your relationships through the lens of the higher you, so that you could truly understand, have a deeper understanding of why those individuals and those experiences are happening in your life, and how you can respond to those things through an accepting and loving lens. So let's go ahead and dive right into the tarot here, Pile 3. This is a really, I've been so impressed. All of these messages have been so high frequency. Okay, so here, right off the bat, here, pile 3, we are starting off with the 2 of Cups. Okay, so I kind of am already feeling like this is pertaining to relationships in your life. That these particular relationships here are, you're needing to witness and observe all of the relationships in your life here, pile 3, I'm sorry, and allow yourself to be embodied in those relationships. Understand that there are some relationships, some individuals that you ultimately need to accept those relationships and individuals as they are, not trying to change them or force them to happen or manipulate them in any way. It's just allowing them to be, and understanding that those relationships will mold, they will shift into what they are and who they are. And it's really about you just connecting on a deeper level to those relationships and those individuals, okay? Next, we have the 7 of Earth, which is the 7 of, so this is the 7 of Earth, okay? What I love about this particular card here, pile 3, is that the 7 of Earth really speaks about the rewards, right? Everything that we have worked so hard for, right? When we actually take action towards the things, the energy, the amount of energy that we are embodied in to what we are creating in our day-to-day, especially in relationships, right? I feel like you're needing to witness those relationships in a way as, what are you getting out of those relationships? What are they giving you? Are you being rewarded in those relationships? Is your time and energy in those relationships and in those individuals worth that time and energy that you're putting into it? That's important, because I feel like if you're not truly focusing in on how much time and energy you're putting, like, it's important for you to understand here, pile 3, if you feel that your time and energy is being wasted in this relationship or in a particular person, then you really have to ask yourself, is it worth all my time and energy? Is it worth it to me? Because if it isn't, then why are you continuing to do it? Are you accepting it? Are you accepting the relationship and the individual as it is? Are you witnessing it and observing it? Are you recognizing? Are you being codependent? Like, these are all the questions that you're needing to really ask yourself here, pile 3. Because again, remember, when you are embodied in the I am presence, you are connected to that divine source where you see all, you understand all. The I am presence sort of correlates to Archangel Ezekiel, which is spiritual truth, spiritual understanding, and spiritual knowing. And it also aligns you to Saint Germain, Ascended Master Saint Germain, which is the violet flame of the I am presence. Now, interestingly enough, this card marks it as gold, but gold is that infinite frequency of pure divine source energy. So it's really activating your light body. It's helping you connect to the divine within you. Okay? So again, I feel that right now your message is really pertaining to the relationships in your life. So we now have the King of Air. So the King of Air is all about their intelligence and their intuition. What I love about the King of Air here in this particular situation for you, pile 3, is that it's wanting you to take charge. Take charge of your relationships. Take charge of the people that you are spending time with. The King of Air is in charge of his actions, right? He cuts out all of the things that he knows are a waste of his time. He's not worried. He's not sitting there making decisions based off of his emotions. He's making intellectual choices because he sees the bigger picture. He understands that there is a plan, right? And he is adhering to that plan. And I feel that this is where you're needing to really remember. I said you're having a transpersonal experience where you're needing to accept the relationships and the individuals in your life for who they are and what they represent. And this is where you take then charge. You stand in your power and you say, this relationship works for me. I will continue to nurture it. This relationship does not work for me. I need to cut it out of my life. This is you needing to see through the eyes of the divine, because it is within you, and cut out all of the things that are not aligning you to who you are as the divine. This is deep. So next we have the Four of Air. Okay, so the Four of Air. This is really interesting. These cards are kind of very different, but what I love about it is that it helps me to have a better understanding. So this is the Four of Swords. This sort of correlates with the Four of Swords. What's very interesting about this perspective is that sometimes you have to sort of reflect. You have to take a pause, right? This is about seeing with your mind's eye and understanding that, you know, these particular experiences or these relationships are a part of your life because you're needing to sort of have a better structure, a better routine, a better order to things, right? I feel that ultimately with this Four of Air, what it's really saying is that you have to be disciplined. You have to recognize the patterns in your relationship. You have to have a better understanding of what is currently going on in your relationships. Now, it's important for you to recognize here, PileThree, that, you know, if you're wanting better relationships, if you're wanting to call in your soulmate or, you know, have that in-depth type of relationship, then you have to weed out all of the bad habits, right? Really evaluate. This is why your first card was the Watcher's card, because it was about being the observer, being a witness to your habits, being a witness to your patterns, right? And it's about you removing all of the negative influences in your life, right? Because again, I feel like a lot of times when it comes to relationships, we often listen to the opinions of other people. That those opinions, all of that unsolicited advice, sort of muffles our own inner voice. And remember, the I Am Presence card here showed up for you because it's wanting you to recognize, like it's wanting you to understand. You have all of the answers that you need within you. And it's about you connecting to that, you attuning to that frequency. And I feel that with this Four of Air, you know, you need to build a better structure for yourself when it comes to relationships and what kind of relationships you're going to allow in your life. Again, it's about witnessing what kind of a person you are in relationships. Observing what kind of relationships you aspire to be in. Okay? Because I feel like when we can do that, When we can truly do that, then we have a much better understanding of where we are going. So the card that you got now is love. And this is beautiful because this just totally proves to me here, Pile3, that your message, the message that you need to know right now, has to do with the amount of love, the amount of self-care that you put into your everyday, right? How much self-care, self-love do you give to yourself, right? Because I kind of have a feeling that there is a little bit of an imbalance here when it comes to self-love. You might be putting so much energy and effort into loving others, even individuals where you have witnessed that those relationships are not for you, but you're holding on to them tightly, right? And I feel that with this forgiveness right in the center, which I often identify as the heart of your reading here, Pile3, is that in order for us to have the kind of relationship and love that we ultimately desire, we all want that romantic love. We all want that. But the reality is that where it originates from, it originates within you. You complete you. No one else will complete you. You complete yourself because you are already divine. You are full of love and divine source energy. And so I feel that in order for your relationships to change, to transform into what you are truly desiring here, Pile3, you have to love and nurture yourself first. You have to come first. So that might mean that you might have to let go of certain relationships and experience life without them. You know, I saw something not too long ago, which I thought was so valid and so on point, of this woman talking on TikTok about how so many people often ask her why she goes out on dates alone, why she takes herself out. Why wouldn't you do that for yourself? That's loving and caring and nurturing for yourself. And the important thing that she said was that there is a difference between being alone and being lonely. And I feel that many people that are in relationships that ultimately know are not good for them and should have walked away from those relationships a long time ago, are only in those relationships because they feel lonely. And the reason they feel lonely is because they have never experienced divine love energy. And it's love that they can give to themselves. So your message here is, how can you create a better relationship with yourself? How can you give more love and care and nurturing to yourself so that you could then witness and experience what true love is, to call in better relationships for you here, Pile3. Next, we have the Two of Fire. Okay, this is about passion. This is about desire, right? What are you passionate about? What are you ultimately so enthralled about when it comes to relationships and love, soulmates, right? I think a lot of times we get lost, we get confused, right? And it's important to recognize that when this card comes up, it's really about partnerships, right? Equality, sharing of oneself equally, aligning yourself with someone else. It's about, understanding that, we have to, there isn't a struggle. for power or for who takes control of what, right? That's not what this is about. When it comes to relationships, having pure, genuine, divine union relationships, it's really about sharing. It's about sharing the love within each other, sharing the energy, sharing the care, sharing everything. It's about that bond that two people come together, right? When two flames join together, they become one. And so I feel for you, Pile3, this is really about you becoming one with yourself. Now, the bottom deck energy that we have for you here is going to be the 4 of fire. And it's very interesting because I feel like you're very passionate about your relationships and you want love. You love love. Like, you love being in love. You love the thought of being in love. But I think that a lot of individuals right now don't truly understand the true meaning behind loving someone and being in love with someone, right? And this 4, 4s are all about, they're all about stability. They're all about foundation, right? Having a structure from which to build upon. And for you, my friends, you know, with this 4 of fire, it's about understanding that, you know, you have to, you know, what are you ultimately building towards? What are you ultimately creating a solid foundation for? The 4 of fire is sort of, it's like the 4 of wands, which is all about, you know, in an actual tarot deck, it's all about, you know, the flow, right? But this one, look at how he is really focused. Look at how this individual is focused on a particular target. So your message here is that when it comes to love and relationships here, Pile3, are you focused on your truest intention, right? Are you really devoting your time, your energy to loving oneself, to truly understanding oneself? Because no matter how I look at this, your first cards truly with forgiveness and with the I am presence. This is about you understanding where true divine love comes from. And this is about you learning to be in love with yourself, accepting yourself as you are, learning to love oneself wholeheartedly without the ability, like it's almost like not looking at yourself and judging yourself, right? It's about accepting yourself the way that you are, because you're already perfect the way that you are. And I feel that is where a lot of people get misconstrued. You know, a lot of times people feel that, you know, they feel themselves that, you know, I need to go see, you know, a coach because I have so many bad habits or I have so many bad patterns. I can tell you from my own perspective as a coach, having bad habits and bad patterns is normal. It is normal. It is part of being human. And you need to learn to love every aspect of yourself, every experience, everything that you go through in life. Because that is who you are. It is a part of you. And the process of transforming is about learning to love those shadowy aspects of ourself and healing those parts of ourselves. Because those parts of ourselves only feel the way that they do because we've been told all our lives that it's the bad part of us. And it's not. It's the part of us that lacks love, that needs nurturing, that needs care. So PileThree, this is your message. This is the message that you need to hear right now from your team. I want to thank you so much, PileThree, for joining me today. And I hope that this message provided you with clarity and insight. And I'm going to look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye.